Hey everyone, Matt here. Let's discuss the latest details on the $2,000 stimulus checks for individuals, $4,000 stimulus checks for couples, and the latest stimulus news and how it relates going into tomorrow. We have another new day tomorrow, and at this point, I feel like none of us have any clue what could possibly happen anymore. But I want to prepare you, and I want to give you all of the latest information that we have, as tomorrow is going to be another big day that I want to talk about regarding stimulus. So let's jump right into it. But hey, if you're new here or if you're returning, welcome. Thank you so much for being here. My name is Matt, and if you haven't done so, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below. So let's jump right into this. So earlier this afternoon, President Trump came in and he vetoed the $740 billion defense bill. Now, just for full clarity, this is not the stimulus bill. This is the $740 billion defense bill. Historically, this is typically signed by the president and passed with no problem at all, but President Trump vetoed it because there is things in there that he does not agree with, that he wanted removed, and he went ahead and vetoed it. So maybe at this point, President Trump is going on a little bit of a rampage and trying to prove a little bit of a point, which he certainly is over the last few days and possibly a couple weeks here, but either way, that's what he did. So actually, now that he has vetoed it, what actually the Congress is planning on doing is Congress can actually override this veto. So on Monday, the House is planning to vote to override his veto. Mitch McConnell was out and said that the Senate is planning to vote on Tuesday to override his veto. So they'll be doing that next week. However, let's talk about stimulus. But really quickly, before we do, right before I started recording this, actually just a short time ago, I got newsflash across all my devices here saying President Trump has He has pardoned 26 additional people. The reason I want to bring that up is because last night he came out and there were all these news flashes. My devices were going crazy, and it said President Trump had pardoned a handful of people, and then like minutes after that, that's when the video dropped of him with this $2,000 stimulus check demand. So when I saw this news flash and all this stuff going across my screens, I saw the pardons for the 26 people, and I thought, oh man, are we going to get another video? I mean, I was sitting there kind of waiting in the wings like, oh man, this could be really good once again. But so I was getting a little bit excited there. But anyway, we'll have to see. So I just wanted to throw that out there because I thought it was a little bit funny. I was kind of getting all psyched up. And I'm sure any of you that saw that news come out as breaking news, you probably were reminiscing of last night when that video of President Trump dropped about him demanding these $2,000 stimulus checks. But anyway, I thought it was kind of funny, like in that not funny way, but you know what I mean. So when it comes to stimulus, here's where we're at. I want to bring you up to speed and let you know exactly what's going on with this. So the stimulus package that Congress passed on Monday night, it's still hanging around out there. It has not been signed by the president. He did not sign it yet, which would have brought it into law, which would have made it law, right? So he has not signed it yet. At the same time, he has not vetoed it yet. So at this point, it is just kind of hanging in limbo at this time. So this is kind of a way for a president, I'm not saying, this is kind of a way for a president to just kind of like milk out the clock a little bit. Actually, right now, it is in this 10-day presidential action period. So from the time that Congress has passed it, it goes into like this 10-day period where actually Congress can go in and override anything. So my point is, President Trump has not vetoed it yet. So if he were to veto this, actually Congress would be able to come in and override that veto, just like they did with the defense bill, like I talked about just a second ago. So since he hasn't signed it and or vetoed it, the fact is there's nothing that really can be done with it during this 10-day period, because this is kind of like the 10-day period where he gets to sit on it and just kind of think about it and maybe decide to sign it, maybe not sign it, maybe veto it, maybe not veto it, or just let the clock run out after the 10 days. So at this point, we just kind of sit and wait for 10 days to see actually what's going to happen. So this is kind of President Trump's way of, kind of hanging out, given that he has this 10 days. And during this time, here's what's going to happen. Tomorrow, the House is going to be voting on a measure to increase the stimulus checks from $600, as they are currently written in the stimulus package, increasing them to $2,000 for individuals and $4,000 for a couple. From the evidence that I'm finding, it looks like the dependent payment is also going to remain at $600 with this proposal. So that's what it's looking like. So the $2,000 for individuals, $4,000 for a couple, and the dependent payment, it appears to me, from what I'm finding, it looks like it's going to remain at the $600, which is currently at right now. So the House is going to be voting on this tomorrow. Remember, President Trump released that video last night of him demanding $2,000 stimulus checks. And he wanted this amendment added to the stimulus package. So the House jumped right on it, and they are voting on it tomorrow morning. Tomorrow morning being Christmas Eve. December 24th. They're going to be voting on this thing. So considering that the House is controlled by Democrats, and Nancy Pelosi was out last night about an hour after President Trump dropped that video on Twitter, Nancy Pelosi was out and she actually tweeted and said that they'll be voting on it and let's vote and let's do it. And she's saying all these things. So in other words, the Democrats have come together and they support this measure for $2,000. So my point is, when they vote on it tomorrow, we can probably anticipate it's probably going to pass the House. It's probably not going to be that much of a problem. But then it goes to the Senate. And that's where things have been having a lot of problems lately when it comes to passing of the stimulus. We're not quite sure Mitch McConnell's stance on the whole $2,000 per person thing quite yet. Like I said in my video this morning, Mitch McConnell is put into a really, really awkward position right now. And I would not want to be Mitch McConnell. So he can be like the Grinch that stole Christmas and say no. He could accept, which would show kind of like he's just throwing in his hand, like he's just folding up and just accepting. And it shows like potentially some weakness. But at the same time, he could come back with potentially a counter offer, which would be possibly the worst thing. And the reason for that is then it would open up a whole new can of worms of negotiating once again. Basically taking the stimulus package back, going through Congress, running through everything again, and renegotiating everything. And then at that point, let's say they push it through and everybody agrees on $1,200. I'm just saying as a hypothetical example. They push it through with Mitch McConnell's counteroffer at $1,200. It hits President Trump's desk and he says, I demanded $2,000. This thing came back with $1,200. Get it out of my face. What if he comes back with that? So Mitch McConnell, once again, he's in a really, really awkward position. I certainly would not want to be in that position. But I also feel like the answer is also somewhat very clear. The answer, even though Mitch McConnell certainly probably doesn't want to, I feel like the clear answer to do is just accept it. However, that would show some massive weakness on the front of Mitch McConnell, right? If all of a sudden he just caves in and says, okay, fine, I'll take the $2,000. So at that point, maybe we could see Mitch McConnell kind of push back and say, okay, we'll do the $2,000, but in exchange for that, we're going to have to take down some of these other programs within the bill to lower the price tag. And that could possibly happen too. We'll have to see what happens. Now that the House will vote on this tomorrow, Mitch McConnell, once again, will be in his court. One thing that's nice for him is that we have Christmas the day after. So realistically for him, he'll probably just kind of sit on it and use Christmas as a day to, kind of get like a free pass, one extra day where he can kind of just sit and think about it / do nothing. But then we're sitting on the weekend. And the weekend, Congress might need to come back to get right back in session over the weekend, because then we come to Monday. And like I talked in my video this morning, Monday, at the end of the day, if they don't do something, if President Trump doesn't sign it, or if they don't pass an additional stopgap bill or continuing resolution, that's what it's otherwise known as, if they don't pass that by the end of the night Monday, potentially the government could go into a shutdown. Oh my God, this is like a really, really bad soap opera, like I've been saying for so long. And again, I'm not laughing because it's like funny. I'm laughing because it's so ridiculous, like unbelievably ridiculous how the whole thing is playing out. But also, Lindsey Graham tweeted that he is in support of the $2,000 stimulus check proposal, demands, I should say. He's in support of the $2,000 stimulus check demands and said, let's vote. So you just never know. Maybe all of these people will come through, and it's just secretly, maybe all of these people have kind of collaborated and said, hey, let's on Christmas Eve push through a $2,000 stimulus check for all the people, like as a surprise Christmas gift. Not likely. I highly doubt that. As much as these people hate each other, I highly doubt they are collaborating with each other. But it's kind of a fun thought in the spirit of the holidays. And I get it. There are many more holidays going on right now, so happy holidays to all of you. It's not just about Christmas. I get it. So, but anyway, I wanted to bring you up to speed. Tomorrow certainly is going to be a very interesting day with the votes there in the House. Of course, like I said, we anticipate it's probably going to pass. Probably no problem. It'll pass, maybe get a little bit of pushback. Who knows? But at the same time, then it goes to the Senate. And that's where we could potentially see a lot of drama, or we could potentially see a spectacular fireworks show. In some sense, whatever you want to say about that. But anyway, it's certainly going to be very interesting. I'll watch all of this, of course. I will continue to keep you updated. I will be back definitely tomorrow. And who knows what's going to happen. At this point, it is anyone's guess these days. At a point, a couple weeks ago, we thought we could probably predict what was going to be coming. At this point, no. I don't think anybody wants to put any predictions out there anymore as far as what could potentially happen or what could be said. It's just not worth it anymore. But either way, I think all of us are crossing our fingers for $2,000 stimulus checks, and hopefully Steve Mnuchin can work his magic and get those things pumped out as fast as he possibly can. He's pretty confident he can get those things out within a matter of a week. We'll see about that. Stevie boy, we have faith in you. All you need to know is just grab the account numbers of all the Blind Billionaire friends here on the channel, all 142,000 or so of us, and just start pumping checks. That's it. Pump. Keep pushing them out to us. That's all we care about. More is better. Send us 2,000, then push the send button again. Push it again. That's all I want to keep sending us money. That's all we really want, right? But anyway, just having a little bit of fun with that. So anyway, have a good night, everybody. I hope you enjoyed this video. I'll be back tomorrow morning with another update, and I'll be watching everything very closely. And you never know, maybe at some point I'll be back with a spontaneous live stream that, oh my gosh, another video just dropped or something. You just never know these days. But either way, stay safe. I hope you're staying warm. There's a blizzard where I am, and it is not fun outside. So I'll catch you later. Thanks, everybody. See ya.